Thor, I love you dearly. Now is not the time. He's tapping my arm, like, hello? Pets, please. Oh my god, I accidentally... Oh no. You just have short chapter 25 notes. That's what it is. I'm like, did I accidentally mislabel this because I saw chapter 26?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just Karkat talking to his underlings. Who is Swiffer and Eggmop.
Because it's a joke.
Swiffer, Eggmop,
and get it? Like the Swiffer wet jet?
What does a wet jet have to do with an Eggmop? Like, what's the egg? What's the egg part?
I don't know. Maybe it's a thing later.
Oh, okay. I understood the Swiffer mop.
Like they had to put another 3 letters in there. I don't know. Because it sounded funny, Swiffer egg mop. But I think it's Swifer. Maybe. No, it is Swiffer. No, it is Swiffer.
No,
it's just like at first I read it as Swifer, which is why I said Swifer, no swifing. Because I think that's funny. Yeah, I started out, Karkat, what you been up to, my guy? Because we haven't seen Karkat in a hot second. Yeah, Karkat's running a rebellion in some abandoned tunnels. Classic. Everyone loves doing sneaky shit in abandoned tunnels. Which is a reference to the game I'm writing, Kaitis, which is based on a Monster of the Week campaign that Dami ran, which had abandoned tunnels that shit happened in. So, yeah, it's like we all love abandoned tunnels here.
Why is everyone abandoning their tunnels, man?
Well, because like it's based off an area that Dami grew up in that had abandoned tunnels under the town. So sometimes it just happens. I think I'm gonna say that they were like abandoned. I think my explanation for it in the thing is they're gonna be abandoned. Like what am I trying to say? Bootleg tunnels, right?
Oh, like bootlegging.
Yeah. But they're also like not safe because bootleggers are not going to try to keep up the safety standards. And so once that was all done, people aren't supposed to go down in them. I think it's fun. I think it's fun, like bootlegger tunnels. I might change my mind, but anyway. And these were abandoned because of like the crackdown on reproduction shit. Yeah. Still bad exposition. Karkat says, don't call me the commander. Did I ask to be the commander? Did I ask a military board to appoint me? Have I ever led a successful campaign? And, like, I wrote that I think I'm being extra nitpicky now, but, like, that's such clunky exposition, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, sure.
And also, how many years has it been now since he left?
Right.
Why would he be saying this now?
Right, exactly. Like, It is one of those things where it's like, clearly she's been calling him commander a lot, and like, does he say this every single time, or just when we're looking at the plot again? Right?
He's just an NPC.
Yeah.
He only got a few canned lines.
Yeah, I don't know. But they do a lot of exposition like this. It's so dumb. Like, why let us see any interesting things, or like, tell us things in subtle ways? Excuse me. But no, we have to have people say lines like this. Though I do like so one of the generals or whatever of the rebellion, like someone big in the rebellion, had to do like the punishment is forced to do bad reality TV, and if you lose, you go to the cake mines. I think that is a very funny Homestuck dystopian thing. Well, I think the cake mills are a bit much. I think having cake mills to go to, because you get it, Betty Crocker was a bakery thing, and Jane likes to bake, and you get it, so there's cake mills, whatever the fuck that means. But I do think the forced to do bad reality TV is very classic Homestuck dystopia. Why is Swiffer using her name as a verb? Like, we get it, her name is really close to the Swiffer Wetjet or whatever, but no, she has to use it as a verb, so you know the joke. And then I said assign janitor at hatching. Kanaya is trying to talk to him about moving the mother grub, and also telling Karkat to call Dave and ask him to join. And Karkat's like, what? Yeah. Kanaya? Huh? What'd you say? I can't hear you. Oh no, it's a cave in. Oh my god. Okay. Whenever we talk again, we'll both forget this conversation ever happened. Goodbye. But there was an actual, like, impact because Mina's here now. She's not from the ghost train, but she's, like, alive and she has a ring, and it's not Calliope's ring. It's a different ring, even though they're not supposed to exist in the same place at the same time. Like, because it's not supposed to be both of the same. I guess, like, the life ring and the invisibility ring aren't supposed to exist at the same time, I guess. Like, one gets lost and the other appears. But now there's 2 of the life rings, which I guess we'll find out and meet how that happened. I forget.
Okay.
But yeah, it reminds Karkat of when Dead Jade crashed down, because the Lord English shit went bad, yo.
Well, I mean, she crashed down from, like, a crater or something, right?
Yeah, she crashed into a crater the same way that Dead Jade did, rather than from, like, a ghost train that's happening, because she's alive.
Okay.
And Mina is surprisingly ready and willing to be Karkat's second in command against a fascist regime, and is into him being bossy. Which, I guess I can kind of get the bossy thing, because I know she was kind of into Vriska being bossy and stuff, but she also really likes being a leader, and she's really into fascism. So, I don't know. Like, I guess. I'm not the most into this being, like, OOC for Mina, but it does seem weird that she was so immediately ready to follow Karkat into battle. Like, she was kind of crushing on him in Homestuck proper, it's implied, but, I don't know. It does seem kind of weird. Maybe there's something that happens in Meat that kind of, like, explains why she's so ready to do this. We'll have to get to there, and, like, maybe there's something that's said or whatever. But it feels a little weird, but it's fine. Chapter 26. I have John again. It was fun while it lasted, because I did kind of enjoy the Karkat chapter outside of Swifer using her name as a verb. Just because she's got to do Swifing.
Oh, I mean, I just put 2 lines. I was like, John's getting tired of not being in canon. And then, I mean, basically, to sum it up, he finds his dad's car, and then there's, like, Terezi's blood in it.
Yeah.
And he realizes, like, 10 years ago was the last he was going to talk to her or something. Yeah. Or he's never going to see her again.
Yep. Yeah, so John is moping about how nothing is real, and Terezi is the only one that feels real, and even the stuff replicated from Alternia is probably fake, because he, like, runs into some, like, terrible plants and stuff. Then his dad's car falls out of the sky. It's filled with shaving cream and tobacco and red and teal blood. And yeah, what you said is, like, he was talking to her in the past, so she was already dead. Like, he was... And I think it would be real cool if they had written it to compare that to a star. How we see stars, but they're so far away that it's likely they're already dead. And I don't know, like, I don't have the perfect phrasing for how they would do that, but I think it would have been real poetic to compare him talking to Terezi, who had been already dead, to like, looking at a star or some shit, you know?
Well, I didn't know if she was, like, already dead when they were chatting. I thought that she had stopped responding.
That's what he is implying here. Like, it's not to say that that's canon, but whenever he sees the car, because he was like talking to her basically in the past, right? Because while they were talking, you know, that was years for him, and, like, you know, maybe months or something. Like, it was like a decade for him and maybe a year for her or something. We don't know the exact, like, time breakdown, right? So it is now, like, however many years later after the last conversation, and if he's seeing this car, like, it's possible she had already been dead when they were, like, in his time when they were talking. If that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just time stuff. Like, let's say that he is in year 100, and Terezi is in year 50 when they start out, right? So for Terezi, it's year 51, but for John, that's so much time, so it's year, like, 110 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I should have had them both start at year 100 and then move, whatever. So 101 and 110. So, like, if John, like, last talked to Terezi in year 110 and she was year 101, and then in year 111 he finds a car with her blood in it, and he hasn't heard from her since, then a decade ago is probably when she died, you know?
Yeah. I see. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know why I added 100 into it when I could have just started out at 0, but I did. But yeah, and then, like, this realization hits John, and he, like, super breaks down and cries and screams, and it just feels alone in the universe. Like, that was the only other person who felt real to him, and nothing else is real. Epilogue 6. 2 more chapters. I have a lot more notes than you.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go through your chapter 27 notes.
Yeah, well, 10 more years have gone by, and Vriska and Harry Anderson are kissing, and there's a curfew, but I assume it's curfew for everybody. I would assume it would have been just for trolls, but I guess it's for everybody. And then we get a little pop-in from Aradia, Solix, and Fake Jade again, and then we go to Dave's wedding. So that's kind of my timeline of chapter 27.
Yeah. So, I say, I have never cared about kidfics. I do not care about them here. I do not give a shit about these kids. I don't care. I just don't care. Like, I think it would be different. Like, I probably wouldn't have been interested in the epilogues if it had only been about, like, original characters. But I wish it had only been about original characters and, like, let the others, like, fuck off somewhere else. Like, maybe it could have started out with these kids and, I don't know, like, and focused on them while, like, vague world building about what the adults went through in the background. But, I don't care about the kids. I'm so sorry. I don't care about them. That's just not the type of fix I like. Like, even when, like, regular fiction, right? If they had, like, a sequel series that's about the kids, like, the Dragonlance series did that, I did not read those. So, Jane has guards keeping an eye on Harry Anderson, so he had to, like, super sneak out to go see Vriska, and he only got there because Gamzee is the cool uncle who wants the teen to get laid. And, Mina and Karkat are a rebellion power couple now. They're debating Karkat's height. It's one of the few things I feel like the writers are actually doing a good job about caring about fandom debates, because there's a lot of, like, Karkat is short talk, right? Like, everyone assumes Karkat's short. So I do like that they had that. That feels like I said, it feels like one of the times that they actually, like, lovingly referenced, like, what the fandom was talking about. Karkat has lost an eye now, we know, because Harry Anderson says that he's too much of a chicken shit to lose an eye to protect trolls. Like, he's 15, but why would he just say that? It's bad exposition to tell us that Karkat has lost an eye.
Yeah.
It's just bad. It's bad for Harry Anderson out of nowhere to say, like, I can't be like Karkat, like, he's cool and everything, but I would not lose an eye to protect you. Like, he's 15. I don't expect him to sacrifice himself that much, but he would not say that out loud. You would brag about how you would lose an eye. Because you're 15 trying to impress your girlfriend, who is much cooler than you.
Also, like, losing one eye is not the worst thing.
Right. Like, but I get it. You're 15. Like, it's fine. It's fine to not want to lose an eye. You would not tell that in front of, like, to your girlfriend, who is, wants you to be more badass than you are. Right? Not at 15. I don't know. But of course, Vriska would be willing to do it and get an eye patch because she's Vriska. Do you get it, guys? Because Vriska lost her eye and she's a Vriska, so of course Vriska would get an eye patch because she's Vriska and Vriska lost an eye. I hate it so much.
The child Vriskas yearn for the one eye.
Yeah, for real. And then at Radius looks and Calliope. Calliope's like, this role is inconsequential. Oh, yay. It's like the fanfic where the writers capture the voices of the characters to a T. Is what, like, the, this world is, right? Not the epilogues, but, like, Calliope talking about the world of Candy. The Candy timeline is, like, the fanfic where the writers capture the voices of the characters to a T. It's not canon relevant, but true to the spirit of the characters. And I said, damn, I wish it was. And I think a better comparison would be, like, you know when they have, like, non-canon, like, Christmas episodes or something, where it's like, this would not be happening in this part of the timeline. It isn't actually relevant to anything, but here is a beach episode or a Christmas episode or something, right?
Gotta love a beach episode.
Yeah, Candy is a beach episode. Terrible. I wish I had the full quote, but I said I do like the phrase of a heroic apotheosis, though. And yeah, a few months later is the wedding. I have so many notes about it. This is my shit. Like, it's so funny to compare our notes sometimes. Feel free to interrupt me if you have things to say, which I feel you should know by now because we've been doing this for so long, but I do always feel bad when I talk a whole lot.
Oh, it's fine. I mean, it's like, well, okay, they're getting married.
Yeah, so Jade and Dave are finally getting married. Jake is helping them do the wedding in secret away from Jane so Rose and Kanaya can be there. Jade is shorter than John, confirmed. Lame. I don't know. I always like her to be, like, taller. Dave does not look all too happy at his own wedding because it sucks. The relationship sucks. John drove his wife away into the arms of Jane, not literally because at least that would have been a little based. It would be cool if, like, Roxy was, like, one of Jane's lovers now. That would be so awesome. Calliope is noted to still be hanging on faithfully, though. She doesn't deserve you, girl.
Yeah.
It's like Roxy is going to Jane and Calliope is staying with Roxy. There was nothing about Roxy caring about Calliope, right? And I just want to say this here, because I don't really have a better place to bring it up, but I was thinking about this a lot. So I think I've said on the pod, on like the Moosielogues before, Roxy and John's relationship would have been so much more interesting if they had bonded over the fact that they are both from the same timeline and no one else is, right? Like, that could have been part of John's unreality, because they are both from the timeline that John retconned, you know? That could have been part of their relationship. That could have been part of, like, why they were so close. It basically never gets brought up.
Yeah, that could have been, yeah, definitely, like, if you are in a foreign country and you meet someone else from, like, hey, it's from they're from Kansas City. It's like, oh, you're immediately friends.
Exactly, right? Like, that could have been a level to their bonding. And speaking of which, John died. In order for John and Roxy to be in the new timeline, that timeline's John and Roxy had to die. So Jade was alone, had like John and Dave Sprite blew up on the ship pretty early on, so Jade was alone for the majority of those 3 years, and there is no bonding with John, or no, like, mention of weirdness, that they have different memories. Like, John has memories of a Jade that doesn't exist anymore, of, like, the things they did on the ship, the relationship she had with Dave Sprite. Like, he could make references to things that are not memories she has because they did not have the 3 years of bonding. That could be an interesting thread to pull on. Jane, while under control of the Condas with the Crocketeer, Jane murdered Roxy. She was trying to kill, I think she was trying to kill Rose, and Roxy jumped in front of her, and she killed her best friend. That should have been something. That should have been something to bond over. That should have been something for Jane to feel guilty about. That should have been, like, brought up as a reason that Roxy's still so close to Jane, because, like, she wants to connect with Jane, and Jane has this guilt, and so she doesn't want to make Jane feel any worse. Like, maybe they have some private conversations about how guilty Jane feels, so Roxy can't see all the other stuff she's doing, because she only sees this guilty side of Jane, right? There could be, like, a troll controlled me to make me kill my best friend and be terrible to my other friends, and this is why I have a thing against trolls, right? Like, there are such good things for them to have, like, pulled on for the epilogues, you know? And they don't. And it makes me very sad. Yeah, so John hadn't seen Roxy smile in years before she finally divorced him, and he has no idea how his son is doing. He has to look at a teenager's text in order to see how his son is doing, and that's fucked up. I don't care that you're divorced now. You fucking tell your ex-husband, you fucking tell the father of your child how your son is doing. That's so weird. Yeah. It's messed up. But Karkat shows up to the wedding. John goes out on the balcony, and Karkat's here.
Secret spy Karkat.
Secret spy Karkat has to secret spy on his ex's I said funeral. Jesus Christ. His ex's marriage. So this would have been a really good place to mention the eye patch, right? To, like, because John is describing Karkat anyway. So this is could be where we learned that he lost an eye. Because I quoted it, right? In his Alternian military fatigues and his admittedly bitchin' eye patch, it's described here. We didn't need it before. He looks almost imposing, kind of dashing, actually. And I have all caps, make out, make out, make out.
Just forget your life, John.
Yeah.
Go with them.
Yeah, exactly. Like, sorry, you're describing Karkat as dashing. You should make out about it, I think. I'm a bi John stan forever. Like, in the main comic, all he says is he's not a homosexual, and this was, like, 2009. He doesn't know what being bi is. It's 2009. And he was a dumb 13-year-old, and then later 16-year-old who didn't have access to any further media. Because he's bi, and they should make out. I guess. Except Karkat is still, like, super broken up about Dave, but he's with Mina now. It's fine. I mean, not that you can't still be broken up about your relationship whenever you're with someone new, but, you know. Roxy got the Carapacians to go on Jane's side, which is fucked up. And since they are such cool people, and they're so chill and pacifist, and, like, who would want to fight against Carapacians? No one. So now, just even more people are on Jane's side, because the Carapacians are on Jane's side, and it sucks. Roxy sucks. And
what logic does it make, besides just, I guess they're with them now?
Yeah, because, like, Roxy, you know, like, grew up with Carapacians, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which she didn't grow up with these, but I guess she, like, was already predisposed to having a good relationship with them, so they were able to swing to, like, Roxy's evil now. Like, I don't care, she's not a centrist anymore. I don't care about anything else. She is actively helping Jane have more followers in order to exterminate the trolls, right? To perform a genocide. I don't care about anything else. Like, she's not, like, I don't want to, like, offhandedly call people evil because they're more dimensional than that. Like, I don't even want to call Jane evil. I just think that just reduces things too much, even though this is fiction and not real life. I don't know. But Roxy's a bad person now. Roxy is, at the very least, helping a fascist take power and helping a genocide. She is not a good person. That's what I'm going to say about that. She's also, like, not letting her kid contact his dad, which sucks. And
John should kidnap his own child.
Right. I mean, Vriska Mariam Lalonde might do that for him, honestly. With how the sneaking out shit was going, you know? And the running off to join the rebellion talk. I'm pretty sure they said that. Whatever.
Yeah.
And then Karkat, oh my god, John, stop being so fucking pathetic for just a minute. Could you do that for me? John, I don't know. That's a pretty big favor you're asking me there, Karkat. This is good Homestuck dialogue. I love this so much. I love their back and forth. Make out about it. John and Roxy have been divorced for 5 years, and John has basically been moping in his house the entire time. John won't go into the rebellion because he's so fucking depressed. He can barely get out of bed in the morning, so how could he shoulder the responsibility of other people and other people's lives? And cause, Karkat's like, well, you're immortal, so what does it matter if, like, something bad happens to you? And he's like, other people aren't immortal, so, like, if I get too depressed to do things well, other people could die because of me. I can't do that. And I think that's, like, super reasonable, right? I think that is a really good, like, nuanced thing that's happening here.
Yeah. I'd be like, John, you can just sweep the floors, Swiffer the floors for the resistance. That's low stakes, but also necessary.
Yeah, right. Like, there's plenty of, like, boring jobs to do in the resistance. Like, that's what people don't understand. Like, when people say that they want to rebel against the government, or they want to take down the government or everything, they don't think about all the little things that need to happen for it. Like, one of the big things of when people talk about, like, a rebellion is, like, what's going to happen to the people who need stuff like insulin to live? What's going to happen to the people who need hospitals? If you want to create an anarchist, like, with no government, no anything, you have to say how you're going to deal with infrastructure. How are you going to make sure that wheelchair ramps are up to code? Like, there's so many little things that John could do that don't involve fighting, but they don't think about that enough. Give him a purpose, you know? Have him file paperwork.
Yeah. He could stock the food pantry.
Right. Like, there's things that he could do, but, like, with the way they're framing it, I think that since, you know, they're not actually good anarchists, they don't actually have good politics. I'm being so mean now. that because they're just doing such almost a parody of like fascism and genocide and rebellion, right? Like they are doing such surface level shit here. They are doing on the nose surface level basic ass shit, right?
Yeah. I think most media doesn't portray rebellion very well.
No, it's true.
Like there's no idea of what anarchy is,
right?
And how you would execute a system independent from the fascism.
Right. Absolutely. And yeah, so I do want to, so we were talking about this podcast off call. So there's this podcast, It Could Happen Here. If you want to learn about anarchism, about mutual aid, about what's going on in the world, about so many things, it's a really good resource, especially if you listen to the back catalog. They have 1 billion episodes. They have stuff about how to stay off the grid, how to like secure yourself, like all this other stuff, right? They get the person who's the trans woman that was a whistleblower for the military.
Oh,
I forget her name.
Yeah, gosh, I used to follow her on Twitter for a bit, but I got off Twitter.
Yeah, I forget her name off the top of my head. Chelsea Manning, right?
Yeah.
They get Chelsea Manning on to talk about like security shit, right? And privacy stuff, and like how to recognize cops or like undercover cops and shit. And they have so many good resources, like how to form like community gardens and stuff. I will say the disclaimer, they are very bad when it comes to talking about trans masks. They won't talk about them. They will downplay what trans masks go through. It sucks, even though they have trans people on it. I don't want to like make this a call out post for It Could Happen Here. Just go in there with a grain of salt when they talk about trans issues, even though there are trans people on like as regular hosts. But if you want to learn about anarchism, if you want to learn about mutual aid, if you want to learn small things you can do and like big things to do and stuff like that, that is a very good starting point. Just to offer a resource while I am making fun of how they portray rebellion here, which, like you said, it's how media portrays like genocide and fascism of rebellion. I don't know. I guess I'm just like retroactively having higher standards for them. Because like this was written like pre-COVID and pre like George Floyd and everything too.
Yeah.
I guess I just wanted to note that, especially since you brought up the other things that John could be doing during the rebellion. But with the way they have it framed here, I think it is a very reasonable position for John to take, and I think it's actually like a really good and nuanced perspective on this. I think it's really good. I think they write John really well and almost no one else.
Yeah.
I have this quote here. Karkat's expression turns hard, regretful. It's a frown made of granite or some other manly kind of rock that chips easily when dropped. I said so close to good writing. I know this is probably supposed to be like a Homestuck lame writing quirk, but it just sounds like lame writing. Like within the context of the epilogues, it just sounds bad. You know, because Homestuck sometimes does like the lame, like the badly said like metaphor or whatever, right? They kind of like on purpose to kind of like I don't know, to twist the expectation of having a good metaphor. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I can't think of any examples off the top of my head, but it feels like a thing that Homestuck does. And it just doesn't work here because everything else sucks.
Yeah.
Dave comes to the balcony and Karkat fucks off immediately. Dave jokes about like, John, don't kill yourself, which is weird. I mean, it's not weird, like I get it, but it's also like weird considering how they handled Dirk's suicide. Like, there has been a suicide here. It is a weird thing to joke about, I think. They reference that Jade has a dog dick again because Dave's on the Yif train. He is not enthused about being married. He is still broken up about Karkat. Dave says, we're both in straight relationships now, though, so what can you do? I guess about the gay shit. I wish I had provided more context for this. And John thinks about the picture of Terezi in his wallet. Dave says that they're best bros, but there has been nothing in the epilogue so far that have shown that they're best bros. They didn't seem like they were best bros before. Best bros maybe would have, like, intervened in the terrible relationship he was having. Best bros would have talked more. Best bros would not let John mope in his house for 5 years. They're not best bros. Those are just words. They're just saying things. I don't know if it's supposed to be empty words or if we're supposed to believe they're best bros.
I feel like the authors would have thought that they're being serious about them being best bros. Because they were at one point in Homestuck.
Yeah, and like there could have been something about like the fact that they weren't around each other for 3 years put a weird thing on their relationship. And so they had to build it up. Or, like, make a commentary about how they didn't build it up, and there's this still, like, regretful disconnect between who they used to be when they were kids and how much they used to, like, be friends when they were kids, and how, like, the distance just never got repaired after. There could have been something interesting to pull on here, but no, we're just supposed to believe that they're best bros, even though nothing in the epilogues have shown this.
Yeah.
And then I have a very long quote that at the bottom I have made the note, I feel like I have things to say about it. I don't know. It's weird. It feels like someone else wrote this, and I don't quite know what I mean by that. So I'm going to read it all out loud and hope I know what I'm talking about. So we'll experience this together. They toast, lip of the glass to rim of the bottle. The sound rings out above the noise of the party inside. It rises above the ocean to where the stars are turning and dawn is already breaking on some other part of the planet. That's how the years pass. Faster and faster the longer it goes. For those living on this iteration of Earthsea, like John and Dave, it appears to be an illusion of age, an old adage about perception changing the older you get. The days get shorter, the more the regrets pile up. But that's only part of it. Above this earth, the dead cherub is still meditating, waiting for the day when she can have her own heroic apotheosis, waiting for the day when she can confront the one she calls the prince. And on this earth, John is just waiting for the day that the feeling finally stops, the feeling that he's still waiting for something, and the even worse feeling that years ago he missed his only chance to put an end to it. If you stand on a very high hill at dawn, you can watch your shadow move in an arc around you. 10 years to the day he last spoke with Terezi, John finally gets rid of her photograph. He stands at the top of a very high hill, rips it into 6 pieces, and lets the wind carry it away. Whatever happens now, it doesn't matter. So, yeah, I don't know. I still don't know if I have exact things to say about it. I still stand by that it feels like someone else wrote this. It kind of feels similar to how things were written around, like, some of the narrative does sound like this, when we're just narrative and not, like, going into people's minds necessarily. We are describing not describing what is happening, but describing the vibe, like, doing actual, like, narration and not, like, inner character thoughts, I guess, which is also narration. I don't know the words to separate the different types of narration, I guess. It feels like it's commenting on something it hasn't built up to comment on. It doesn't deserve the commentary it's trying to have. Yeah. Like, the stuff about John is right, and we kind of know that. I feel like it is finally trying to take itself seriously as written words. You know, as a written work is what I was trying to say. Like, as a thing that they are putting out into the world, the thing that they have published into a book. Like, if you stand on a very high hill at dawn, you can watch your shadow move in an arc around you. I feel like that could really say something if they have been building up this theme, right? Like, yeah, a theme for everyone instead of just for John, and John finally ripping up Terezi's photo, which is, I don't know, like, it's supposed to, like, mean something of giving up on, like, holding on, like, not holding on to Terezi, not holding on to, like waiting for this feeling to be over, I guess. We'll have to see what happens next to see if, like, this is a follow through, if this thematic thing he's doing carries forward, if the theming that they're setting up here that should have been set up ages ago, but they think they're carrying on, I guess, and emphasizing, like moves forward, and like, it's this thing about getting older, and, like, the days, like, years seem to go by so fast, right? Like, you know, you look back and suddenly a decade has gone by since you talked to Terezi. Suddenly 5 years have gone by since you divorced your wife. The time skips are supposed to be time moving so fast for them. Like, 10 years has gone in a blink. And it felt like nothing was happening. Maybe nothing was happening for John, but clearly something did. He got fucking divorced, you know? Like, we don't see that happen. We don't see the build up to it. Yeah. We don't see what the final thing was that caused it. We don't see Roxy finally having enough emotions to be upset at John to divorce him. She has been so passive for so long, and what happened to finally make her divorce him? What was the moment? Where did she finally get, like, emotions, you know? And, like, it is neat that Alt Calliope is waiting to the day to have her own heroic apotheosis. That is a neat thread for us to pay attention to. Like, what is she waiting for? If this world doesn't matter, or if this timeline doesn't matter, why is she here? Can she not move over to the other timeline? Is she waiting on something to let her move over to that timeline? What could it be? That is interesting. Maybe, and like, this has recently been established, so maybe we can, like, build up to that. That is a cool, like, mystery to hang around to get us wanting to see what happens next. And like, I think, like, you know, John talking about that feeling he's still waiting for something, that feeling years ago that he missed his only chance, and like, is he trying to stop waiting for it? Is he done waiting while Calliope is still waiting for her heroic apotheosis? Is John now done waiting for it, and that is why he is ripping up the picture of Tiresias? He is done waiting for something else to happen in his life. Like, that's part, like, he's been moping around for 5 years. He doesn't trust himself to help out with the rebellion because he's so fucking depressed. Like, he doesn't think he, like, would be good in a high stress environment where things are critical and people are relying on him. And is he trying to be that now by letting go of his regrets, by letting go of this feeling that something is wrong, that he's missing something, and so he's going to try to do better now? Is that what they're saying? I don't think they built up enough to justify this very like poignant moment they're having. They haven't earned this.
They tried to have some good writing, but then didn't spread it out for the rest of the book.
Yeah, they didn't spread it up. They didn't earn the good writing here. They didn't earn the metaphors here. They didn't earn the theming here. And it's like someone who was good at writing and hadn't read anything else wrote this, and then that's it. Yeah, and like, I don't know. This does feel like a better writer came in who, like, understood the themes they were trying to go for and wrote these 2 paragraphs, right?
Yeah.
Chapter 28, which you had even fewer notes for.
Yeah. Vriska's ghost has normal eyes, and she's like, I need to go back, and that's the cliffhanger.
She's not a ghost. That's why she has normal eyes, because she was a live Vriska who got sucked into the portal, which or into the wormhole, the black hole,
hole thing.
Yeah. So this is from, like, we are picking up where we last saw Vriska in Meat, right? She gets hit on the head, and she goes into the black hole. Karkat starts war on Harry Anderson's birthday. I guess, like, there's some internal monologue about our internal thoughts about how, like, John isn't on record having political opinions. What the fuck do you mean by that? Do you think by yelling about fascism and trying to kidnap a boy out of an abusive relationship and, like, saying Roxy is crazy for supporting Jane and, like, you know, again, calling Jane out for fascism, you think that isn't political opinions? You think wanting to join the rebellion, even if you feel like you're too depressed to be useful, you think that isn't political opinions? What was that conversation with Karkat if not having political opinions? What was the yelling at Jane if not having political opinions? What the fuck are you talking about? John isn't on record having political opinions. He's been having political opinions this whole fucking time. What do you think political opinions are?
I don't know.
Damn, we got another Dave in the Economy reference, huh? Thankfully, it was very short. And then, all caps, Vriska falls from the sky. And, I put in my notes that this is right after she fell into the black hole of Meat. I still think this isn't, like, I don't know, maybe not necessarily out of character but, like, her obsession with seeing is really weird. Like, I don't know who is writing Vriska here. Again, fuck Hussey. Hussey writes Vriska really well. I don't know, like, I cannot believe this is Hussey writing Vriska. Her obsession with I have to see is so weird, because this is also what she was, like, obsessed with and why she was so mad about going into the black hole. And the other thing, like, maybe, like, I don't think necessarily the vibe is wrong, right? Like, Vriska not being able to be there when the important shit happens that she was building up to, and that, like, a world got retconned so she could deal with, you know? Because she had to be there for it. Like, it's not that I think that is wrong, but the way she's saying it is so weird. And it's the same, like I was saying with Aridin. It's not that Aridin wouldn't have the vibe of the things that he was saying and doing. It's that the way they wrote him saying it was so fucking weird. It's like, this isn't the character. you have the vague idea of what the character is, and you're writing them very badly. And yeah, Vriska constantly screaming about how she has to see, she has to go back because she has to see, is so weird, and I don't like it, and I can't quite put my finger on why. But that's it. That's where we end off in Candy. Candy chapter 28, Epilogue 6. Yeah.
At this point, I feel like they could have, I mean, clearly they could have condensed this, but with this section being the section where they're like, oh, well, Jane is doing all this because of her influence from the, what's her name again?
The Condis.
The Condis. Or it feels like things are starting to happen when there was a whole lot of things just not really happening.
Yeah.
We didn't need quite so much of all of the previous chapters. Those could have been condensed.
And like, especially since they're doing time skips anyway, right? They're doing time skips in theory to get to the important part. Like, that's why you do time skips, because nothing important is happening, so you skip ahead to where important things are happening. But instead of like skipping to where important things are happening, they're skipping past a lot of interesting things that could set up like what the characters are like and how the characters have changed. Like, they skipped past John getting divorced to now. Like, what is important about now that we have to see it? Like, we caught up with Vriska and Harry Anderson because we have to know they're in a relationship now, and we have to learn about Cardcat. We learn about Cardcat through what John says. Like, we learn everything about Cardcat based on how John talks to Cardcat, basically. I don't think there's, like, I guess, like, Mina and Cardcat being a power couple is, like, the thing that we learn that we don't learn from John, I don't think. But it would have been so easy to write one more line about John thinking about it or referencing it, especially when we were talking about, like, Cardcat being broken up about Day still. Like, there could have easily been, like, a line or a short conversation about Mina in there, right? Or, like, just a mental thought that John had about it.
Yeah, the story is all just stuff happens.
A lot of it is like, trust me, bro, it makes sense the character is doing this because of stuff that happened in the time skip. Trust me, bro, we're not going to explain why Roxy, like, I get, like, they kind of explain where Roxy divorced John because he was so fucking pathetic for so long and so, like, standoffish and weird and shit that she finally divorced him, but we don't get to see that. Like, that doesn't make sense from the passive Roxy that we knew, who would barely get upset at anything. If she had divorced him right after he tried to kidnap a child, that would be one thing, you know? That feels like a way where she finally got the emotions, the reaction that John was looking for. He wanted her to be upset by it, right? Like, he wanted to do it for Tavros, right? But he also wanted to do it to get a reaction from Roxy. And that could have been a really great time to have them be divorced, right? To have that happen. But no, it just happens off screen for reasons mostly unrelated to trying to kidnap her best friend's child and screaming at all of them and calling Jane a fascist and everything, right? Roxy becoming a fascist, if not, like, a fascist supporter, if not active fascist, could have been a conversation for us to see, for us to, like, see happen. Her, like, getting the Carapacians on the side when we previously had, like, barely any mention of how good she is with the Carapacians, right? There's so many interesting things that happened off screen and that we're just told about, and we get the boring stuff for the most part. I will say, like, the wedding, I think, was a really good scene. Honestly, like, these chapters that we read had a lot more, had a lot more stuff that I liked and stuff I didn't like. Had a lot more interesting things than the rest of the epilogue so far, personally.
Yeah. Like I said, it feels more like things are kind of happening or accelerating in a way.
Yeah, like, they are finally skipping ahead to where things are, like, I think, like, skipping to where John is like, I'm gonna fucking kidnap a child, that's cool. That is a good thing for a time skip to jump to. A time skip to, like, John finding his dad's car that has Terezi's blood in it and, like, having a breakdown because, you know, he's assuming that Terezi is dead based on, like, there being blood and the fact that, like, she hasn't talked to him and everything, right? That is a good point to jump to. Like, there have been some good points and just some, like, really bad, boring points and some points that we should have jumped to.
Yeah.
There are interesting things hidden within this terribly written story.
I mean, probably any terribly written story, you can find a few interesting things.
Yeah, that's why like bad movies are good, right? Like because like and that's why bad movies are frustrating, right? That's why people like usually their least favorite movies are boring movies. You know, where they're not bad enough to be interesting. They're just meh.
Yeah.
And like this has some interesting stuff in it. I just don't think I care enough about the interesting things, like the potential it has, because I don't care about the things that it thinks it's trying to say. So like I personally probably still wouldn't like it as much if it was better written, because they still have some weird characterizations. But it's just like, how much would have to be cut from this to make it like have better pacing and better writing? Like, because part of that we would have to see the character evolution, right? We would have to be seeing the character arcs in action. And would that change how the characters were written? Because you would actually have to see them like justify how they are now. Like, how much of the epilogues and the characterization that they're doing would still be here if they wrote it better, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, because they're doing the time skips, but they're not like from the beginning, from the minute the epilogues start, from the minute like the prologue to the epilogue start, they have done a time skip, and they do not understand the giantness. They don't understand the magnitude of the time skip they just did, right? Especially from 16 to 23 or whatever. What are they? 22, 20, whatever. The age they are, whenever it starts. They do not grapple with how big of a time jump that is and how much would have happened, because kind of like the reference in the paragraph I read, it's like when you're younger, those years mean so much more. There is so much more to change and to happen, and the years feel longer then. And as you get older, it's like, I'm like, I don't know, I was somewhere between 25 and 30 when this happened. I think I was like, you know, you know, I don't know, stuff happens. I don't I had a bad time remembering years, but I have to do the old person thing. It's like, well, when did this happen? Let's see. In 2019, I was here doing this, and it was like, and it wasn't then, so it had to have happened after that. So let's say it was like 2023 or whatever, you know? But they can reference how that changes when you're older without grappling with how different it is when you're young, and how much they missed from skipping 7 years into the future at the start of it, and how much was missed when they skipped through the weddings and the the early years and just peeking in on things. And then now they're like, okay, well now this kind of justifies us like skipping 10 years here, but like 10 years is still a lot. Like, yeah. I don't know how much time has passed. He's like, what, like 35, 40 now?
He was saying he was like close to 40, I think.
Yeah. He's in his late 30s. Sorry, your late 30s are still pretty young in the grand scheme of things, especially when you're a god, but like that hasn't really like conceptualized to them yet, right? But like you're like going from your late 20s to your late 30s is still a lot.
Yeah, that
have missed
so much life.
That's so much life to it. Like, not to say that like 40 to 50 or 50 to 60 isn't like still a lot of life, but if we're talking about like I'm probably going to be 60 and look back on this and be like, fuck you talking about that it's less amount of time when you're older, but like, you know, it's still like, it's not as much time as going from like 15 to 25. That's still like that still feels like a lot more time than from 25 to 35. But a lot still happens, especially when there's a divorce in the middle of that. Like, a divorce with someone you didn't think had enough emotions in them to be upset with you, and they got so upset with you they divorced you. That is a big thing. I know I keep hammering in on this point. It's just like the biggest example in here, I think, is that such a huge thing to miss out on. And I feel like I'm going to be told, like, oh, that's the point, is that, like, everything's so unreal that we just skip past this, and this is the candy timeline, so we don't get these moments like that, and it's not supposed to be about, I don't know. They're going to have, like, people who would defend things no matter what are going to have, like, explanations for it, but, like, you know, not to say I'm going to dismiss any counter to my argument, like, out of hand. Like, legitimately, if you do think there was a good narrative reason why we don't see Roxy finally do the thing that John wanted her to do for years, and one of the things that he wanted to happen as a result of him trying to kidnap a child, I would like to hear it, because I just don't think there is one. that that is a big thematic thing, right? Like John's thematic thing is been things not feeling real and feeling like he had no consequences from Roxy, that Roxy could disagree with him but not get upset at him, right? Like, I don't know. I think these two epilogues are where I really feel the missed potential more than like any other part, I think, which might be recency bias. I don't know. It's just this one had more things that reminded me that felt like Homestuck. There were more conversations here that felt like Homestuck than almost any other part of the epilogues, which I think is just like getting to me a bit more.
Well, how will it end? Or at least this part of the epilogue.
How will it end? Holy fuck, it's been 2 hours. How did that happen? Oh my god. I really had a lot to say. Fucking hell. I'm sorry, Dami.
Maybe it could be 2 episodes.
Yeah, 2 episodes again, I guess. Like, we just, as of recording, we just published part 2 we got to that part of Candy. Like, so it's a very heavy episode that just got published, because that's the one that talks about suicide a lot. Yeah, so this might be another 2-parter. Holy shit. Anyway, yeah, so next time we'll be reading the rest of Candy. Because it just wouldn't make sense to read Epilogue 7, because Epilogue 7 is pretty long, right? It's chapters 29 to 38, but then after that it's 39 and 40 and then the postscript, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, maybe we'll get through it and realize that that's too much.
We could probably knock it out. We'll see.
So I keep complaining to, like, Dami about the epilogues, right? I'm clearly mad about them. That's why these episodes get so long, because I have a lot to say about how much I don't like them, and she keeps being like, you don't have to do them. If you're having a bad time, you can just stop and do something
I've already
else.
started it. We gotta keep going.
Yeah. And that was kind of my thought, and I did just, like, I've been meaning to check in with you about this and say that, like, we can't just stop if you are having a bad enough time that you want to stop. We can do that.
It's not that I'm having a bad time. I mean, reading it, I'm just like, what the fuck? But
okay.
Overall, like, I'm having fun talking about it.
I'm glad. I just want to make sure, because I know you have not liked most, if not all of it, and I just want to make sure that you did not sign up to this for life.
Sometimes it's fascinating to watch the train wreck.
It is. Speaking of which, everyone go watch Megalopolis. You cannot watch it legally unless things have changed in the next couple of months. It is so good bad. It is so bad good. I unironically love it. I love it with the sincerest irony I can muster. Go watch Megalopolis. It's great. What you have to do first, if you have to look up the Megalopolis, go back to the club scene. I think that's what that would be called. The clip is called on YouTube. You go in expecting the movie to be like that clip, and you will have a fantastic time. If you expect the movie to be serious, you will have a terrible time. The movie thinks it's serious, and it thinks it's funny. Like, it's both serious and funny. I don't need to go off about Megalopolis. Just trust me, go watch it. And then talk to me about it. It's so good. Don't talk to me about it if you don't understand my vision. Anyway, this is peak messy shit. And like I said, I probably went for 2 hours about this because I have the most to say about it, because it is almost good in some ways in this section.
No.
Do you have any terrible media to recommend?
It's been a while since I've really watched much of anything. I mean, you have
fair.
your classics, and my favorite movie of all time is purposefully bad good, but The Lost Skeleton of Cadavra.
Oh.
Which is on YouTube, I believe, for rental, and then I don't know where else.
Yeah, cool. Okay, well, go watch those, write us a report, tell us what you thought. We expect 10 pages, single-spaced.
Yep.
Whatever font you want, though. I don't care about the size. It does have to be 10 pages, single-spaced, though.
Yeah, but no text that's just white font.
Yeah, we're not pulling a fucking Doc Scratch up in this shit. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, so we're finishing up Candy next time. Check out all the links in the description for the stuff. Hire Dami to edit your podcast. The link for that is in the description. She's really good at it. You listen to this, you can listen to the other shit that she's edited from Bard Rock Cafe and some other places. The link is in the description. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you to Dami for composing the theme song and editing the episode. You can find other podcasts she edits, or hire her to edit your own at dominothief.card.co. Shout out to Danny the Spoonlord, our fakest fan tier supporter. You can become a supporter and receive bonus content for as little as $1 a month at ko-fi.com/jaxyax, or simply give a one-time tip. For information on and links to my other projects, head over to jaxyax.com. Thanks again for listening.